Tonight, the skies over Gaza have been lighting up. The sounds of explosions are echoing across the area, and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Israelis to brace themselves for what he describes as a lengthy military campaign. Israeli forces are on the attack again. So are Hamas militants after a temporary little ceasefire. The body count is soaring. Israel now puts its death toll at 46, including 5 soldiers killed in combat today. Officials in Gaza say at least 8 children were among those killed during a strike on a refugee camp. The Palestinian death toll now above 1,000. We have correspondents and newsmakers standing by as we cover the breaking news here in the Middle East and indeed around the world. First, an exclusive look inside Hamas tunnels in Gaza, along with more on the latest fighting today. New bloodshed in Gaza and in Israel. Children and other civilians among the victims. Families in anguish. And Israel and Hamas trading blame for strikes on a hospital and a refugee camp in Gaza.
How many Palestinians need to lose their lives in order for this Israeli government to understand that killing more Palestinian civilians is not going to contribute to a political resolution to this conflict?
That's just preposterous. We did not target Shifa Hospital.
New deaths on the Israeli side as well. Soldiers killed in a mortar attack near the Gaza border. With the death toll climbing, the United Nations held an emergency meeting to appeal for a new ceasefire.
In the name of humanity, the violence must stop.
The sounds of battle echoing again on both sides of the Gaza border after a brief ceasefire. Hamas launching new rocket attacks on Israel, and Israel resuming air and ground strikes on Hamas targets in Gaza. This is priority number 1 for the Israel Defense Forces, finding and destroying dozens of Hamas tunnels, underground escape hatches from Gaza used to infiltrate Israel and launch attacks. I went to the front line near the Gaza border to see one of those tunnels with IDF Lieutenant Colonel Oshik Azulai. Right. Israeli forces have uncovered more than 30 tunnels in this area. All right, let's go in. This tunnel is just under 2 miles long and about 45 feet below ground. It begins in the southern Gazan city of Khan Yunis and ends here, near an Israeli kibbutz along the border with Gaza. Let's go a little bit further in this tunnel. I guess the tunnel was built for relatively short people, because if you stand up, you're going to hit your head. I'm not that tall. But you see, it's pretty secure, this concrete. They spent a lot of effort building this tunnel. Hamas boasts about its network of tunnels, posting this video, allegedly showing masked militants entering Israel. Before being targeted by an Israeli airstrike, this video was released by the IDF. Hamas never got to use the tunnel I visited. The Israelis found it. They destroyed a big chunk of it back there. They've kept this part. Hamas has other tunnels that lead into Egyptian territory used to smuggle weapons and supplies into Gaza. But the IDF says the underground passages into Israel have only one purpose. From what you know, what was the purpose of this tunnel?
Attack soldiers. They won't attack regular people, children, women, men.
So there you see the tunnel that I visited earlier today on the border between Israel and Gaza. Let's go to Gaza right now. CNN's Carl Penhall is in Gaza City. Is it still intense there? The flares going off over the skies? We saw it about a half an hour or so ago. We heard artillery. What's going on, Carl, right now?
Yeah, for about the last hour now, Wolf, we've seen a lot of illumination flares drifting down into central Gaza City. If you listen, you can hear across in eastern Gaza the sound of artillery. That is artillery, the field guns, the M109 field guns, sending out this barrage of rounds, but these are illumination flares. They get about where we are now, close to our vantage point, and then you hear an explosion. That is the artillery shell popping out the illumination round. That will then drift down on a parachute, and then in the distance you'll hear the clank of metal. That's the ammunition round with the canister falling down onto the tarmac at street level. Now, normally those flares may be used to light the way if there's troop maneuvers or armored unit maneuvers, or possibly they could be used to be marking some kind of target. It is not clear in this area of Gaza City what is going on, what the target may be. We haven't heard live ammunition rounds exploding in this immediate area, so difficult to see what the strategy is going on here. What we have heard from a loudspeaker is somebody, possibly from a mosque, calling on the citizens of Gaza City to stay inside. He was saying, stay inside for your own safety. And after he said that, well, we saw for approximately 1 hour these illumination rounds drifting down and drifting down. The thud of an explosive there as the illumination round pops down. But as I say, and not clear right now, Wolf, what the target may be.